When a simple accident inside a luxury ballroom threatens to destroy a man's legacy, he discovers that dignity can be louder than any crowd, and that one choice can rewrite everything. Stay with me, because this story will surprise you. If you love powerful real-life stories from inside the USA, full of heart, lessons, and emotion, make sure you subscribe to Black Inside USA for more inspiring content. The chandeliers above the ballroom glimmered like suspended constellations, pouring warm light across the marble floor as soft music drifted from the string quartet. It was the kind of night painted in glossy magazines, gowns flowing like waterfalls, tuxedos fitted with perfect precision, laughter rising from every corner. The annual Crestview Foundation Gala wasn't just a dinner, it was the event, where alliances were born, futures decided, and fortunes shifted hands with little more than a handshake. Tonight, something big was supposed to happen, something that would shape the future of two major companies, something worth billions. And at the center of it all stood Elias Ward, the CEO known everywhere for his calm spirit, his brilliant strategies, and the almost legendary dignity he carried into every room. He was tall, composed, and carried himself with a grace that felt unshakable. His suit, a deep burgundy tailored with quiet elegance, made him stand out even in a room full of wealth. Tonight was the final step before signing the contract that would merge Ward Technologies with Kingswell Innovations. A partnership that promised to bring advancement, jobs, and opportunity across multiple states. Everyone knew the deal mattered, but only Elias understood what it truly meant. It wasn't just business, it was legacy, it was community, it was proof that perseverance could carve a path no matter how tough the climb. He checked the time on his watch, 8 minutes until the conference call with the final legal team for approval. Everything was on schedule, everything was aligned, everything was right, until the moment everything wasn't. The spilled glass. At the table near the center of the room sat Gillian Kingswell, the spouse of Martin Kingswell, the man whose signature would seal the billion-dollar deal. Gillian was known for her lavish lifestyle, always sparkling, always seen, always adored in social circles. She had a way of making entrances that turned heads and exits that left whispers behind. She lifted her wine glass as she laughed with a group of guests. A joke, a sudden turn, and then, the glass slipped. It happened in a blink. The wine arced through the air, a splash of dark red slicing across the light. Elias turned just in time to feel the cold liquid strike his suit jacket. The ripple of conversation stopped. Music fell quiet, eyes widened, the room froze. Someone gasped. Someone else whispered. Gillian's face blanched as she pressed her hand to her mouth. Oh no, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. But before she could reach for a napkin, laughter burst from the group behind her. Not cruel, perhaps, but careless, thoughtless in the way only luxury sometimes enables. A few guests pointed, chuckling at what they assumed was a harmless, clumsy moment. A man in a navy suit muttered, "Guess that's one way to break the tension." Another voice added, "He'll be fine, it's just a suit." They didn't understand, the suit didn't matter, but the moment did, because in rooms like this, respect mattered, presence mattered, and sometimes, the smallest gestures carried the largest shadows. Elias inhaled slowly. He didn't glare, he didn't raise his voice. He simply dabbed the wine with a napkin someone handed him, and then he smiled, not a smile of amusement, but a peaceful, unbothered curve of composure. "I'm all right," he said gently. "Accidents happen." Then his phone buzzed. The call, the final confirmation. He lifted the phone to his ear. "Yes, I'm ready. Patch them in." Around him, the laughter faded into awkward silence. People weren't sure what to make of his calm. Some admired it, others misunderstood it, but only one person felt something deeper, Gillian. The moment after the moment, Gillian stepped closer, her voice soft. "I truly didn't mean to." "No harm done," Elias replied. He kept his tone warm, considerate, but something inside him had shifted. Not anger, not pride, just clarity, the kind that arrives when people show themselves, even unintentionally. As the call progressed, Elias listened to the attorneys outline the final terms. He gave short, precise answers. He stood tall, not moving an inch despite the damp stain across his jacket. But his mind wasn't on the suit. It wasn't even on the spilled wine. It was on the laughter, the dismissiveness, the way moments of discomfort reveal what rooms truly believe. Respect wasn't expensive, it didn't require designer gowns or chandeliers, but tonight, it had been missing. And Elias, who had built everything through resilience, could feel the weight of that absences. The contract decision, when the lead attorney finally asked, "Mr. Ward, do we have your approval to finalize the signing in the morning? The room leaned in, all eyes on Elias. $1.5 billion deal hung in the balance. Years of negotiations, months of strategy, weeks of preparation. Jillian swallowed, her expression tight. Even Martin Kingswell, across the room, stopped mid-conversation and stared. Elias took a deep breath. His voice remained gentle, but firm. I appreciate everyone's work, he said into the phone, and I always believe in working with partners who value integrity, unity, and respect. A murmur rolled through the room. He continued, but before I give my approval, I'll need to revisit our compatibility as partners. I'll be postponing the signing. The aircraft like glass. Postponing meant reevaluation. Reevaluation meant uncertainty. Uncertainty meant potential collapse. Jillian's eyes widened. Martin's jaw tightened. Several guests exchanged shocked glances. But Elias didn't raise his voice. He didn't shame anyone. He didn't accuse. He simply stated, I want to ensure that every partnership Ward Technologies enters into reflects the values we stand for. Then he ended the call. Calmly, gracefully. The room was silent. What dignity teaches? Martin Kingswell approached first. Elias, I'm sure this wasn't. I mean, we can talk privately. Elias nodded. I'd be happy to talk. Tomorrow. Martin hesitated. He wasn't used to being told, tomorrow. Especially not by someone who could change the trajectory of his entire company. Jillian stepped forward. Her voice trembled slightly, not with fear, but with sincerity. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I truly didn't. I know, Elias replied with warmth. And I'm not upset with you. She blinked, confused. Elias continued, but sometimes a moment teaches us more than we expect. And tonight, I learned something important about how people respond to others when things go wrong. Her eyes softened, because she understood, he wasn't talking about wine or laughter, he was talking about character. Thank you for handling it with grace, she whispered. Elias smiled the same calm smile, one that didn't waver, even under scrutiny. Grace is something we owe ourselves, he said. No one else gives it to us. What followed? The next morning, at the private negotiation table, something unexpected happened. Before the meeting began, Jillian walked in with a small envelope. She placed it in front of Elias. Inside was a handwritten note. Respect should always be effortless. Thank you for reminding us. Signed, Jillian Kingswell, and beside it was a commitment contract. Not legal, but personal. From Martin and Jillian pledging support toward community initiatives, ethical leadership training, and local programs Elias's company sponsored. Elias read every word, then lifted his eyes. Martin spoke first, sincerity replacing his usual confidence. Last night, it opened our eyes. We want this partnership, not just for business, but because we want to stand for the right things. Not just look like we do. The table was quiet, not a silence of tension, but of understanding. After a long pause, Elias nodded. Then let's move forward, and with that, the $1.5 billion partnership found new life. Not built on glamour or surface-level connections, but on genuine respect. The power of one moment. Rumors of the incident drifted through the city, but no one knew the full truth. Only those in the ballroom understood why the room had become so quiet. What people did learn, though, was this. Elias Ward wasn't just successful because of intelligence or strategy. He succeeded because he led with dignity. Not the loud kind, not the flashy kind, but the kind that stands steady even when the world stumbles. And sometimes, a simple moment, a spilled glass, a careless laugh, can reveal exactly who we are, and exactly who we want to be.